Hello guys, so in this video I'm going to be walking you through how to implement privacy content with Jetpack Compose. So what are privacy contents? These are contents that are hidden from the user. An example is the account balance in a banking application. So to begin with this implementation, we are going to be defining the different privacy types we want to apply in our application. So to do that, we'll be creating a suite class to define the different categories of privacy we want to implement or we want to apply to our content. So go ahead and give the name of our suite class, privacy effect, and we define the different types of effects we want to apply on our content. So the first we want to apply blur effect, and our blur effect is going to take in a parameter, and this parameter will determine the um, quality of effect we want to apply to this component. Do we want it to be very blurry? Do we want it to be mid, or do we want it to be light, right? So we go ahead and define a parameter which is a radius, and the type of that parameter is independency pixels. And we can go further to specify a default value which is going to be 10 pixels. And you don't forget to extend the sealed class. So now we have created our sealed class. So next we want to do is to create an extension function that we are going to apply to our composable function. Now this is going to be an extension function on the modifier composable. So we go ahead and create a function which is an extension function, and we can call it apply blur. Now this function again is going to be taking in parameters which is a radius. So just in case you want to pass in a radius that is lower or higher than 10, then you can go ahead to pass in the parameter. So we specify the radius, and we are going to be extending the modifier for our extension function. Now we want to go ahead to apply the effect on we want to go ahead to apply the block of code or the function that is going to be called when we apply the blur effect on our composable. So this is going to be this blur, and we pass in the radius. So now we have created our extension function. The next thing we want to do is to create a composable function, which is an extension of the modifier composable, which we will use to apply to different composable functions, right? So we can call this our private function, which is going to be an extension function as well, and we can call this privacy content. Now our privacy contents function is going to be taking in the privacy effect. Just in case we have multiple effects we want to apply, we can specify which one to be applied on the content. So this is going to be extending the modifier as well, and then we are going to be returning the effect we want to apply for the component. So we pass in the effect, and then we say when the effect is blur effect, then it should do this dot apply effect, and then the effect dot radius. Now our radius here has to be a variable. So now we have this, so we can go ahead to apply that in our text composable by simply adding the extension dot privacy content. Then we pass in our effect privacy dot blur and specify the radius. So in case we don't specify the radius, it uses the default radius, which is 10. So if we rebuild our application, you can see that the content is blurred. So if we want to reduce this to 5, the effect reduces. So we can go ahead to reduce to 2 and the same thing, right? So this is how you can implement privacy content in your application. And don't forget, we only have one type of effect, but you can go ahead to add multiple different types of effects in the application. If this was helpful, leave a like. Thank you.